Hey guys, today we're going to be making a truck shifter. So this is the lower half of the shifter and there's a little cap that goes on the top to make it look nice. But basically this is a 3D printed body. You can get this off Thingiverse. The link will be down in the description below for everything that this entails. It's got a pretty nice cavity on the inside. Feeding the wires through there is going to be pretty fun, but we should figure that out. And then to adapt this to my Fanatec shifter, I've also got this little adapter piece, which I also got off Thingiverse, and then just filed it down a little bit to fit inside because it's just a sort of grub screw type fit for a Logitech or something like that. So I just made this little 10mm threaded adapter, and it just has a thread in there. I don't know if you can see. And you can just thread it directly onto the Fanatec shifter. Works perfectly. So this was probably, I don't know, $1 in filament, maybe less. Then you're going to need this USB encoder board, which you can get from JCar Electronics for about $25. So it comes with the board and all these little cables and a ribbon cable. I think this is to link or something like that. And then a USB. So basically what you can do is you can just put these to switches or any input you want really. Plug it into this board, plug the USB cable into your computer, and then it'll come up as an input just like a button on a joystick or a controller. And you can use that to then activate anything within the game. So for this example, we're going to be using it for the range split on the shifter, like in a real truck. So you can do a proper 18 speed. But you can use these encoder boards for absolutely anything. They're pretty popular in arcade machines, so you can make your own little arcade machine with any switch you want. So what we're going to be doing is soldering up the switches. So the switches just go in here like so. We're going to have to solder some wires onto here. So the middle one will be the ground, and then the outer two will go to each switch. We're going to wire all that up with some solder, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, so I have the switches mounted. So these switches are from eBay. I will put the link again for these in the link below. This one I'm just going to hot glue in at the very end. So I've had this one so it's forward and backwards, as it should be. And then this one is up and down. So like I said, I'll hot glue these in at the end, but for now that's not too bad. And then the wiring is as so. So I've just split it up to put the blue in the center on this one and the white in the center on the other one, just to split it up so it's a bit easier. And now I will solder on the other ends, the tail ends, and hook it up to the board and test it. So I have wired it all up now. So you can see the wires coming out of one switch is 2 whites, 1 blue. Out of the other switch is 2 blues, 1 white. So in this case, the white is the ground, and then that is soldered onto 2 other whites for both connectors, and then your blues are your signals. Then the other side is just the opposite. So we have a total of 6 wires going into the shifter, but 8 wires total. Here is the completed, well, semi-completed shifter. So I've just added some hot glue to hold the switches in and hold the cable connectors so they don't vibrate out or whatever over time. I also put some hot glue down the bottom to hold the cables in the bottom so they don't pull through. And then I've wrapped the harness in some what they call Tessa tape, which is a cloth tape used for car harnesses. And then I've just sort of terminated them in the end, so that's one switch and that's the other switch. And I've checked it with the multimeter, it's all working, so it's time to plug it into the computer and calibrate it. This is the setup. So we've got the shifter, got this little box, also got it off Thingiverse. Again, link will be down in the description. It's got a little cutout for this little cable slot to go into. And then the harness just runs like so, so I'll wrap a little bit more tape in there, hot glue this all in so it can't all move in the final product, but it's all ready for testing. So I actually had to swap the connectors on these two around because it actually is polarity sensitive, so the signal and ground have to be on the correct sides. So I just switched those two around and now it's all working. So you can see that's the front switch and then the side switch. So it's all working. So now I just need to plug it into ATS calibrate these for the relevant controllers, and it's done. And this is the completed shifter. I'm absolutely ecstatic with it. It looks awesome. Complete with the range selector on the front. Switches feel really, really nice. They don't feel cheap. They're not too clicky, but they're clicky enough. They just feel really, really great. So got the cable coming out the front, the little USB encoder box velcroed to the front, so I can remove this when I'm doing this shifter. And I'm in ATS now. We'll put the gear stick to, I'll just pull myself forward. We got the range selector down. We got splitter in the back position. We'll head over to first. You can see we're in first gear. We flick the splitter forward. We're now in second. We flick the range up, and we're in 12th. So you can go through all 18 speeds, and it works absolutely amazing. So for about $35, this is a great addition to any truck sim. If you're serious about truck sim, you actually want to make it realistic and actually learn something, then I highly, highly recommend printing one of these guys. It is awesome. So very, very recommended. Get on it.